was it just confusing for you? Like, you just couldn't believe it happened?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't believe it.
Though I really feel like y'all playing with me because I really been saying, fuck this shit. We can't go to the next question.
What's up, gang? We back with another wild breakdown. And today, we're diving deep into some heated Memphis street drama that's got everyone talking. Things are getting messy, and the tension is off the charts. So here's the deal. Rapper Pooh Shiesty just stirred things up again, reigniting what many thought was a squashed feud between his longtime partner Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo. On his new track, Shiesty dropped a line that made the whole city start buzzing. He said, "I heard street dudes getting tummy tucks. Told you, these rappers lame." And if you know how Memphis moves, then you already know exactly who he's throwing shade at. This line didn't just shake the table, it flipped it. Let's rewind the story so you can really understand how we got here. From the moment Big 30 first connected with Moneybagg, things looked solid. It was all love and loyalty at first, but somewhere along the way, that brotherhood cracked and turned into straight tension.
Do you think
And now, with Pooh Shiesty jumping back in the mix, it's like someone just lit a fuse waiting to blow. But remember, this isn't just about music anymore. It's personal. What started as rap competition has turned into something way deeper, hidden behind catchy beats and tough lyrics. To see how this all started, we gotta go back to when Big 30 was just a kid from South Memphis trying to find a way out. Big 30, real name Rodney Wright, came up repping the KSBG crew on the South Side, and even back then, he stood out. He was known for being bold and getting into trouble at school, bouncing around before finally landing in an alternative program. But the streets kept calling, and Big 30 couldn't ignore it. That's when he linked up with his childhood homie Pooh Shiesty, and together with their boys Lil Hank and Chopper, they formed the now infamous Chopper Gang. From there, everything started moving fast. The music, the fame, and the drama that came with it. These weren't your average teens. These guys were making serious noise across South Memphis. They were gaining a name fast, with people saying their crew ran things in the area. Big 30's name itself came from what he called his favorite piece, and he quickly earned a rep as one of the toughest names in the city.
For music, and tell me if I'm wrong, it seemed like it was a personal reason why you took a break.
I was going through something. I had to get my mind right. I had lost a close friend, really.
Yeah. How much did that, like, I mean, obviously it weighed on you a lot. That's why you took the break from music. But was it just confusing for you? Like, you just couldn't believe it happened?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't believe it.
But here's where things get real interesting, because family ties start to shape everything. Big Nochi was already out there making major connections around Memphis. He wasn't just known in the neighborhood, he had reach across different parts of the city. And guess what? Nochi became the link between Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo's world back when Moneybagg was still building up his Bread Gang brand. At that time, Moneybagg wasn't looking for flashy industry types or fake personas. He wanted people with real stories, real experiences, and raw energy that would hit hard in his music. Through Big Nochi, he met Big 30, and right away, that chemistry clicked. Moneybagg knew he'd found someone different, not just another rapper chasing fame, but a genuine artist who had lived what he rapped about. Big 30 had the mix of street reputation and lyrical skill that fit perfectly with what Moneybagg wanted for his label, and having both Big 30 and Nochi close brought a serious level of respect and strength to Moneybagg's circle. A big deal when you're trying to move smart through Memphis's intense music and street scene. The deal made perfect sense for everyone involved. Big 30 finally got the platform, resources, and recognition he needed to push his career to the next level. And on the flip side, Moneybagg brought in two solid, respected names who could stand strong in any situation. It seemed like the perfect team-up. For a while, everything was running smooth. When Big 30 officially signed under Bread Gang through CMG, the vibe was nothing but love. Moneybagg didn't treat Big 30 like just another artist. He treated him like real family. They were dropping bangers together, performing side by side, and helping shape the sound of Memphis hip-hop in a major way. Big 30 stayed focused, releasing track after track that racked up millions of views while proudly repping Bread Gang everywhere he went. At the same time, his connection with Pooh Shiesty was paying off big too. Pooh was building his own empire under Gucci Mane's 1017 label, and together they were showing how two Memphis artists could take over the industry from both sides. The Chopper Gang name started buzzing hard, and suddenly everyone was talking about how Big 30 and Pooh Shiesty were taking things to a new level. During this golden run, Big 30 was featured on some of Moneybag's biggest records, while Moneybagg made sure to shine a light on Big 30's solo work too. The chemistry they had in the studio was unmatched. Every song hit with real emotion and authenticity because their bond went deeper than music. This moment would later turn into a huge source of tension between everyone involved. Everything shifted on January 28, 2022, when Big Nochi lost his life in the Whitehaven neighborhood of Memphis. It wasn't just some random incident. People around the city whispered that it was tied to deeper street drama that would soon shake the whole Bread Gang circle. According to what Big 30 later said, Nochi had been out there helping Moneybagg Yo with behind-the-scenes matters, things that Moneybagg Yo couldn't personally handle himself. Big 30 claimed that at one point, Moneybagg was dealing with some serious outside pressure in Memphis, and that's when he brought Big 30 and Nochi close into the fold to help keep things steady and make sure his name stayed clear. The night Nochi passed, he had just been at Big 30's show at a local high school, showing love and support like real family should. But only a few hours later, tragedy struck. Nochi was found dead in the same area he grew up in. The news hit hard, especially for Big 30, who was heartbroken by both the loss and what happened next. What really hurt him, according to his own words, was how Moneybagg reacted, or more accurately, didn't react. Big 30 said that Moneybagg posted a few broken heart emojis online, showing his sadness about Nochi's passing, but when it came time for the funeral, he didn't show up in person. For Big 30, that felt like a major disrespect. If you truly care about someone, if you call them family, you show up when it matters most. That's exactly what Big 30 felt when Moneybagg didn't attend Nochi's funeral. To him, that silence spoke louder than any words could. It made him question everything, especially where Moneybagg's loyalty really stood. After Nochi's passing, things between Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo started falling apart fast. What was once a strong bond began to crack under the weight of distrust and frustration. Big 30 felt like Moneybagg had only kept him and his cousin close for personal protection, not because of genuine brotherhood. When the time came to prove real loyalty, he believed Moneybagg disappeared from the picture. And it wasn't just emotional, the business side started breaking down too. Big 30 began feeling like Bread Gang wasn't giving him the full push he deserved. The numbers weren't adding up, and the support wasn't matching the work he was putting in. So, according to sources, he started exploring new opportunities and seeing what other labels might offer him a better path forward. On Moneybagg's side, he had his own version of the story. He claimed that Big 30 was trying to move behind him, setting up potential deals with other companies without going through him or the label first. From his perspective, that looked like betrayal. That's when things got messy, because both sides had their own truce, and neither one wanted to back down. Moneybagg felt like Big 30 had crossed the line, while Big 30 believed he was being held back and played out of what he earned. It was only a matter of time before all that tension hit the surface. And then it did, when Big 30 dropped the track titled How Could You? This wasn't your average diss song, it was a full-on emotional release. In the record, Big 30 aired out everything he had been holding in, pointing directly at Moneybagg for what he saw as fake energy and broken promises. And How Could You? Big 30 didn't hold anything back. He mentioned how Moneybagg skipped Nochi's funeral, claimed he used him for protection, and said he wasn't the tough guy he pretended to be. Big 30 rapped about how Moneybagg only signed him and Nochi because he needed backup, not because he truly believed in their talent. Big 30 claimed that Moneybagg Yo had been facing serious pressure from some tough figures in Memphis and needed loyal people around him to keep things steady. But Moneybagg wasn't about to let those claims slide. He fired back hard with a response track called Airball. And let's just say, that song pulled no punches. In Airball, Moneybagg clapped back by calling Big 30 a snake, accusing him of trying to move behind his back and make deals without his knowledge. He said that everything Big 30 had been talking about was exaggerated and that he had done way more for Big 30's career than anyone realized. Moneybagg made it clear that he felt betrayed by someone he once called family. He even touched on the situation with Nochi from his own point of view. According to Moneybagg, he was hurt about Nochi's passing too, but believed Big 30 and his crew had jumped into conflicts that weren't even their business, all for attention and street credit instead of focusing on building success. But the most shocking moment in Airball came when Moneybagg demanded that Big 30 return his bread gang chain. He said Big 30 wasn't representing the brand the right way anymore and didn't deserve to wear it. That line alone sent the internet into chaos. Fans couldn't believe it. Of course, Big 30 wasn't about to stay quiet after that. He jumped on social media and started sharing screenshots and posts revealing what he said were the real details about their relationship. In those posts, Big 30 painted Moneybagg as someone who wasn't truly about the life he portrayed in his music, someone who had built his image with help from others behind the scenes. Big 30 doubled down on his claims, saying that Moneybagg had signed rappers from his neighborhood to make himself look more connected and protected. He insisted that the tough image was just for show, and the truth was way different behind closed doors. Big 30 made it clear that he'd been stacking money since he was 18 and never needed any financial help from Moneybagg Yo. He wanted people to know that his success didn't come from riding anyone's wave. But things really took a turn when he started calling out what he believed was fake emotion from Moneybagg about Nochi's death. According to Big 30, Moneybagg posted broken heart emojis online, acting like he was devastated, but then didn't even show up to pay his respects. That hit a nerve. Big 30 said, "We brought life to that, made the city respect you. My homie's gone over that weak stuff, and you ain't even come to his service." That line cut deep and spread fast across social media, with fans picking sides immediately. But that wasn't even the part that had people talking the most. What really sent the internet into a frenzy was Big 30's wild claims about Moneybagg allegedly getting cosmetic work done, something that hits differently in the world of rap where image and reputation mean everything. In his track, Big 30 rapped, "I'm calling it how I see it. Name a time you see me without a Glock or a DRC. I work out and go lose weight. Ain't no way in the world I'm paying a doctor to redo my face." It was a direct jab at rumors that Moneybagg had gone under the knife to tweak his look, including things like liposuction and facial touch-ups. Now in hip-hop, especially the harder street-centered side of it, talk like that can mess with someone's whole image. Big 30 was basically calling Moneybagg a pretty boy, implying he cared more about how he looked than about his reputation or real-life experiences. Fans couldn't believe it, and the internet lit up instantly with the jokes and wild takes. Moneybagg didn't stay quiet though. He clapped back fast in his own record, firing off the line, "I'm calling it how I see it. What makes you think I'd play with my skin? Surgery? Man, out-of-shape people don't even know nothing about the gym." He tried to flip the situation, making it clear he wasn't pressed about the rumors and even mocked people for spreading them. While all this chaos was going down between Big 30 and Moneybagg, Pooh Shiesty was sitting in federal custody, dealing with his own serious legal situation. He'd been arrested in connection with a Florida case involving a shooting and robbery, and the charges were heavy. Even though Shiesty was locked up, his loyalty to Big 30 never faded for a second. These two weren't just label mates, they were childhood brothers, founding members of Chopper Gang, and had built everything together from the ground up. Their bond was deeper than music, and everyone knew it. So when things got tense between Big 30 and Moneybagg, nobody doubted where his heart was. He was riding for his day one, no questions asked. What made it even more complicated was that Pooh Shiesty had actually worked with Moneybagg Yo before all the drama. They dropped a few solid collaborations and shared mutual respect in the studio. But once the tension between Big 30 and Moneybagg started heating up, business ties didn't matter anymore. Loyalty came first. From behind bars, Shiesty stayed updated on everything happening in Memphis and made sure Big 30 knew he had full support. Even though he couldn't physically step into the mix, his presence was still felt all over the city. People in Memphis knew that when Pooh Shiesty eventually came home, he was gonna stand right beside Big 30, 100% solid. That thought alone kept a lot of people on edge, wondering how things would unfold once he was released. After months of back-and-forth records, subliminal shots, and messy social media exchanges, it finally seemed like the storm might calm down. Both Big 30 and Moneybagg stopped dropping diss songs, and the online tension started to fade. Fans began to whisper that maybe, just maybe, they had handled things quietly behind closed doors. Word around Memphis was that a few respected OGs had quietly stepped in, trying to cool things off between Big 30 and Moneybagg. They wanted both sides to focus on their music instead of letting the drama tear down what they worked so hard to build. It made perfect sense. Both rappers had solid fan bases, big momentum, and real potential to take their careers to new levels. For a little while, it looked like the piece was actually holding. Big 30 kept dropping music and growing his name, while Moneybagg stayed busy expanding his label and business moves. The Memphis hip-hop scene started breathing again. The tension that had once divided the city seemed to fade, and people were finally talking about music instead of beef. But anyone who really knew the backstory understood that the piece was fragile, more like a temporary pause than a real truce. Too many shots had been fired, too many personal feelings had been hurt, and the trust that once held them together was gone. The feud wasn't dead, it was just sleeping. Then came the moment that shook everything again: Pooh Shiesty's release from federal prison. The entire city was watching closely, waiting to see how his return would change things. Shiesty wasn't just another rapper, he was one of Memphis's most talented and influential voices, and everyone knew his comeback would shift the whole balance of the scene.
As soon as he was out, he jumped straight back into the booth. His first track after getting his freedom was FDO, First Day Out, a song that was supposed to celebrate his return and remind everyone that he was still a force to be reckoned with. But instead of keeping it clean and celebratory, Shiesty decided to stir things up. The line that made everyone stop and rewind was, "I heard street dudes getting tummy tucks, told you these rappers lame." Anyone who had followed the long-running tension between Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo instantly knew who that was aimed at. It wasn't a subliminal, it was a direct jab, clearly referencing the same plastic surgery rumors Big 30 had brought up before. That one line from Pooh Shiesty reignited all the old tension that had been simmering quietly beneath the surface. It was his way of saying that he hadn't forgotten a thing, and that whatever peace Big 30 and Moneybagg might have made didn't apply to him. Shiesty made it crystal clear he still stood with his people, and he wasn't about to let the past slide just because time had passed. What makes Shiesty's line on FDO so important is how it reshaped the energy in Memphis. First, it showed the Chopper Gang wasn't over the situation, not by a long shot. Even if Big 30 and Moneybagg had agreed to stop going back and forth publicly, the feelings behind the scenes were still raw. That verse confirmed what insiders already knew. The piece was more about appearances than real closure. Second, Pooh Shiesty's return changed the whole balance of power. Big 30 had already built his name and was doing his thing, but Shiesty's star power was different. He had national buzz, a deal under Gucci Mane's 1017 label, and a reputation that carried serious weight in and outside of Memphis. With him stepping back into the mix, the energy around the beef leveled up instantly. And third, the timing of it all made it even more explosive. Pooh Shiesty could have easily come home, focused on rebuilding his career, stacking money, and leaving the old drama behind. But instead, he walked right back into the storm, adding Feud to a situation that most people thought was done. That move said a lot. It hinted that the bad blood between Chopper Gang and Bread Gang ran way deeper than the public ever knew. Now that Pooh Shiesty is back home and clearly not trying to keep things peaceful, and Moneybagg Yo's name and reputation being tested in front of the whole city, the tension is at an all-time high. Everyone can feel that something major is coming, and the streets are watching closely. In Memphis, beef like this doesn't just disappear overnight. It either gets settled in music or leaves lasting scars that never fade. This story is far from finished, and what happens next could decide the future of two of the city's biggest movements. One wrong move, one wrong word, and everything could change, for real. If you're locked in with this story, make sure to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Because when the smoke clears, one thing's for sure: Memphis hip-hop will never be the same again.